I'm going to be doing a updated van tour of my 1994 Astro. This has been an amazing journey, and I think I am finally done with the build. For now, at least. I probably will add different things as I notice that I need them in the future, but this is the 94 Astro now. Starting at the front of the Astro, as you can see here, I had a light bar left over from when I had a Nissan pickup truck, so I just mounted and installed that on the front bumper, so when I go down forest roads I can have adequate light. This I plasti dipped black and made the emblem black as well because it was kind of faded out, and I really like the blackout look of that. Coming around here, I left the dog dish hubcaps on there and the original emblem. I think that emblem is so dope, but I did upgrade the tires to 235 70/15s. That is the biggest tire you can get on the Astro without having a lift kit. See there, Achilles, Desert Hawk, all terrains. I've been going through snow with this and mud, no problems. I have yet to get stuck. From an outside perspective, you'd never tell this was a camper van, really. I don't have a roof vent. Alright, coming into the inside. First thing you probably notice is the carpet. This is not actually carpet. This is just on top of the factory carpet. It's a plush throw blanket, and I just folded it so it would fit the floor and have like a shag appearance to it, kind of like the old school vans. This box right here, it just holds all my tools and miscellaneous stuff in case I have a leak on the road or something. I built this bench. I can sit perfectly in this spot, perfect height for the table, and look out, do my work, do the editing, do whatever I need to do. That is my fashioned skateboard rack. I kind of didn't plan on it being a skateboard rack. It just fit kind of perfectly, so I made that my skateboard rack. For the bed, I am 5'8", so if you're any taller than 5'8", I would suggest you go a long ways, because I fit perfectly head to the wall perfectly in this bed. I think it's around 67 or 68 inches, and it's about 36 inches wide, so it's pretty much a shorter single bed size, but it works out perfectly for me. Up here, this is my cargo net, or my grocery net, from my Honda Civic, and that worked out perfectly to store extra things up there. I keep my stove, my knife sharpener, bags, and whatever else I need to just store for a quick get to. Right there, that's a CO2 detector. That's a must if you're living in a van. Definitely need a CO2 detector. On the side windows, I use the static cling window tint. This stuff I can just peel right off with no residue or anything if I want to have views around, and just put it back with water and soap and squeegee out the water and soap and everything. So that's a plus with that, so I don't lose some of the 360 degree views whenever I go somewhere really, really nice. And on this table, I left some screws in so I can hang things along here, kind of as like a extra storage. And that's my Toy Story alien hanging out. The paneling back here, that's just luan paneling. It's just luan paneling. Nothing too special, nothing too expensive. That stuff was really cheap. And the way I secured it to the wall, so I used 2x3s to frame this, as you can see right here, and I just screwed the luan paneling to the 2x3s along with this table. I just screwed that into the 2x3s, and that's how this is secured down. And this table can literally support my weight. I can sit on this table and it won't do anything. And this is just a 1/2 inch piece of plywood. I went the cheap route for the countertops, and I stained it. I think it's OldAmerican was the name of the stain. For my ventilation, instead of having a fan, I use the side windows, and they work super good. Like, as soon as you open that up, you can feel the ventilation just flowing through, and if I have to cook here, it goes straight out of the window when I cook here. So this is kind of like my indoor kitchen. But when I get my water jugs and everything, that'll go under here. And as you can see, for my solar, I use an EcoFlow River, and that works perfectly for the lights and everything. I don't have that in here right now. Poof! Luckily, I know magic, and here is the power source for my entire van, which is the EcoFlow River. And this thing is awesome. It charges from 0 to 100 in an hour and 30 minutes on AC house plug, 3 hours on the 12 volt car plug, and I believe 3 hours with the solar panels as well. And that powers my lights. And you know, with most LED lights, they come with this cool little handy remote where you can do all the color changes and whatever. I use warm a lot. I also use that to power my TV and Fire Stick, and that works perfectly. It can power it for around like 14 hours, but I only watch probably 30 minutes to an hour, so that's great for me. Behind those walls, as you can see, like, I used 2-inch foam board. One side was Reflectix and one side was like sealed plastic, and that's literally my insulation behind all these walls. And down under the floor, I put Reflectix, and that's been working pretty well because this blanket really helps keep the floor warm. Under the bed, I left a vent so I can have airflow under the bed and not have to worry about it being moldy or anything. And I always have the doors open because I'm an outdoors type of person, and I keep the doors open with tons of airflow through here. So if anything gets under here, I check frequently to see if anything is building up, any moisture is building up under here, because that's just a platform. I don't have any holes through it. But so far, so good. The ceiling, I put Reflectix just laid on top of the headliner, but the ceiling actually has a 1/2 inch fiberglass insulation on that part, and like a 1/4 of an inch fiberglass insulation on the rest of it, so it's actually pretty well insulated. And the way I have the cargo net secured, I just put it in the clothes hooks, and then this one had a rear AC, but once you took it out, it left like metal brackets. I don't know if you can see it, but it's metal brackets that's exposed up there that I put D-clips in, and it's hooks that I actually hook the net to make it more snug, to fit more flush against the roof. The lighting that I use is a LED TV strip that has remote control that runs across the top of there, and that gives out a lot of light for in here. But I also have these little magnetized work lights that I got from Dollar General for $5, and they're super bright, and they literally light up everything so well. I have one here. Usually one stays back there, and I'll show you why in a minute, but I have one there, and then one over this table. Alright, now for the privacy part. How do I close off this front part? As you clearly can see right here, there is Velcro. This is industrial strength Velcro. I just super glued to the roof so I could close the curtains. And that is my privacy. It blocks off the front and it blocks off, I'd say, 95% of light. For the side windows, for the privacy, I just used one blackout curtain that I cut in half. That side doesn't have the rings, but this side has the rings. So it's kind of mismatch, and it blocks out the light super well, and it insulates these windows from it getting too hot and too cold. I'll demonstrate here as soon as I can get this unhooked. There we go. And I bought this little spring rod from Dollar General, and I bent it upwards so it would fit snug against the window top, and then all I do is pull that close. It does get hung up sometimes on like a little bracket or something that's there, but once you pull that close, and then I have a little Velcro strip down here that it sticks to, just covers the windows perfectly, and it doesn't have cracks where you can peek. And then I just latch this side over here to that Velcro to keep prying eyes from peeking through the little gap there. But if the door was fully closed, it would be fully enclosed, I guess you can say. Coming back here, here's the rear view. Down there is my storage. There's plenty of it, and under here I installed a little light switch. It's pretty bright, it lights up everything. And the way my bed is secured so it won't move at all is by a ratchet strap hooked into the seat hook. And that's how my bed is secured. That's an old rear AC. It doesn't work, but maybe one day I can get it working again and maybe have AC in the back. Here is my pop-up cooking table where I usually cook. This is actually really sturdy. It's held with latches from Amazon. They're cheap and they kind of bind up sometimes, and this one is like kind of flimsy, but I mean it works. And to close it, all you do is press these little latches down and it's gonna fall closed, and that fits perfectly under the bed. This van did have some leaks. Water would leak from under here. It was little gaps that water would leak out and leak from in here. All I did was silicone it and sprayed Flex Seal all over this, so that helps keep it nice and dry. And also water would seep down in here, so I added some cheap Amazon weather stripping to the side and siliconed it. And I did the same thing, and it keeps the water from dripping here and under the floor like it did in the past. And I also siliconed under this because it would get under there and also go under the carpet. So that sealed my leaks. And what I was talking about, one light stays back here, this light stays back here, and when I'm cooking it shines directly on the table, and it's amazing to see. I can see everything. So this concludes my 94 Astro camper van build, and in the future when I do update it, I'll be sure to update you all, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do want to see adventures in this van, please be sure to subscribe, and you'll get to see all the adventures and campouts and stealth camps that I go on. So thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Peace, love, and keep the good vibes flowing.